Hello everybody, my name is Aceface. I'm running some T5 Firestorm Abyss in my Gila, and this is not on the test server, this is on Tranquility actually. I have revised my Gila fit to be able to adapt to the T5 Firestorms actually. And it's been pretty fun so far actually. There are many benefits over the Firestorms, over the Electricals actually, that I actually never really... It didn't come to mind as apparent when I was doing the electrical ones, but now it feels much more like, oh, why didn't I do these before? And it has a lot to do with the filament prices. The filament prices of the Firestorms are so much cheaper than the electricals, especially when the filament prices went up. Then it really changed a lot. In fact, I'm actually using an Afterburner fit just because I need more capacitor available here in the Firestorm since we're not going with the electricals. But the thing is, actually, with the Firestorms, even if I don't collect all the all the nodes, you know, those the nodes that have loot, is like these extra ones, not the bio-adaptive ones, but like these extra ones on the sides, I still seem to end up earning a bit more than the electricals actually. The reason is just because the electricals, the filament price is really high. That's something you have to take into consideration. But then also, in the Firestorm, if I do get an electrical filament, I can then sell that. I don't have to use that again to be able to use the next filament. So it's like extra loot. I'm effectively like getting more loot from these bio-adaptive caches because I can actually sell the electrical filaments that I get. Like usually what I would have done before is that I would have just sold them, used them again. But now it's a case of just, I just sell them just like any other loot. And look here, we got a raging electrical worth quite a bit, and it feels really good. I mean, I don't run the raging electricals as much as I used to. It's mainly it was the chaotic electricals actually, so I would have actually sold that anyway. But still, since the electrical filaments have gone up a lot in price, including the cataclysmic ones actually, because a lot of people have been actually wearing the frigate T6 Abyss in the cataclysmic or the co-op Abyss, like with the Deacon and Retribution. Is a very popular fit, I've noticed nowadays. The cataclysmic filaments have actually gone up quite a bit in price, or it could just be that people have found some way to run them, but I'm not aware of a very good cruiser fit to be able to run the cataclysmic electricals actually, just because the time seems to be a bit of an issue in those ones. But they are very expensive, and I get them and I sell them. And even though we're not running a T6 Abyss, we're running T5 Abyss, I think T5 is actually pretty relaxing compared to the T6. Like, I prefer I still think the ISK is amazing from the T5 Abyss, so I don't see a whole need to do the T6. I think T6 is very good, but I like the feeling of safety of being able to just complete the site in a more reasonable amount of time. But maybe I could actually, that could actually be maybe something in the future. I'll go with the exotic T6 filaments, because I think it'll go a little bit faster than the T6 Firestorms, because the Firestorm, it has that buff to armor. Because of that buff to armor, we don't have the best time possibilities right there. I noticed that sometimes in the Leshak waves actually, in the T5 Firestorms I'm doing right now, is sometimes it takes quite a long time. Those used to be one of the fastest waves ever. Like, I finished in maybe 2-3 minutes in the electrical sites, but now actually I noticed that they are one of the longer waves actually, just because the Leshaks, they have most of their HP in the armor, and they are boosted a lot, and it takes a lot longer time to get through them. And because it taking you the longer time it takes for you to do the Leshak wave, it's kind of almost like exponentially faster, slower almost, because then they'll have more time to rep up, because there's a lot of remote reps in the Leshak wave. Especially if you've got the renewing ones, it can become pretty slow actually. So here we finished this first room in 4.5 minutes, pretty good, and considering we've got the minus 50% thermal resistance, even better. However, Charybdis Tyrannus is not one of the slowest waves when it comes to the Firestorms actually, just because it's not an armor-based ship. Armor-based enemy ships, they're the ones that are going to take a long time. But here, when we've got the shield-based ships, then it's not affected as much, so it's alright. Okay, so this is a Angel wave, and they're also pretty chill actually, because they're mainly based in the... They're mainly got their HP in the shields actually. So we're going to actually shoot these echoes right here, because I think they do do a bit of evil on me. I think the Dramiels actually are the ones that webify me, so I'm not sure. But we're gonna actually, after these echoes, are gonna take out the cruisers because they do have significant DPS, I think. Okay, who's webifying me? Yeah, the echoes are webifying me indeed. So you're thinking maybe, oh, how am I gonna get these nodes now? I've gone after them, it's gonna take forever. Well, what I do is basically I go for the ones that are close. Like, I don't go for all of them all the time. Maybe if it's the last wave and I have a lot of time left, then I'll go for them. You can actually get pretty significant ISK from the extraction nodes, so it's actually very like profitable to actually go for them. But sometimes they can be really far away, like over 100 kilometers away, and then it's not really worth it actually. So I just I go to the ones that are kind of in reach, and especially it depends a little bit on the spawn. Because for example, if the spawn is a type of spawn that likes to kite, then I'll preferably not go for the nodes. But in this case, we've got this spawn that basically just jumps on me like a big bubble around me, like these guys do right here. Then it's alright, because now I can actually use my missiles. Because if they're kiting me, then I will not be able to use my missiles really, because my missiles have not got the largest amount of range. I mean, they've got an alright range of 33 kilometers, but it's not particularly big. Quite short. Like, I cannot even shoot this extraction node right now. I have to wait a little bit until I get in range of this extraction node. Let's just pop one there. Oh, please return. Hammerhead II, what are you doing? Stop sleeping. Why is he sleeping over there? What is he doing? I've lost that drone. Oh, crap. Okay, so let's throw this drone out here. I mean, it's just a Tech 2 drone, not worth much. But that's also another thing that's quite annoying with the Firestorm sights. Even though the armor is buffed quite a bit, and the main HP pool of the Hammerheads is their armor, you still have actually quite a hard time keeping your drones alive, just because them in general, the Hammerheads are very not at all the least tankiest drone that exists actually. So they'll take big hits quite easily. Like, you'll see the shields just go away directly, and the armor goes down pretty fast, even though we are in Firestorms. If we were in non-Firestorms, it would go down even faster actually. Okay, now I've got a bit more speed with all these webifying scrubs. I'll probably take actually these Federation Navy Hammerheads actually, just because of the way these guys keep... Why is it so far away? Why is it so slow? Stupid drone. Why is it going so slow? It's like being scrammed or something. I think they have... drones have MWDs, so they're kind of being scrammed of some sort or something. Oh my god. Oh, that was so close actually. I'm wasting a lot of time actually just going back and forward. That's the bit of the... You know, if we had an MWD, we wouldn't have to bother with all this stress, or all this annoyances of, you know, going back and forward from drones, because we could just quickly swoop in and scoop it up. And also I would be able to not have to think about these rec boxes over here, these nodes, having to go to them, going like a snail's pace with this Afterburner. Even though it's not a particularly cheap Afterburner, but it is actually faster than other Afterburners. Okay, so now we're going to go to the bio-adaptive cache. There's just a bunch of scrubby frigates left. Oh, that guy's too far away. I shouldn't be shooting at the missiles on this guy. But that guy is a logistics frigate, I think, so it'll be quite good to take him out, because we'll get through the others faster. Okay, let's go to the bio-adaptive cache. I sometimes mix up bio-combinative and bio-adaptive caches, because, you know, the frigate bits, they're called bio-combinative caches, because they've combined all the different, like, the 3 caches that would have been, or like, you know, you got 3 times the loot, so it's kind of like combined the loot to be 3 times more. So that's, I think that's why it's called bio-combinative cache. Okay, shoot this guy. We can actually just start reloading our missiles and just have the drones go for this bio-adaptive cache. I was thinking of having a heavy missile, and those are very useful, but unfortunately I can't fit it. I can't fit a heavy missile with the fit I've got. It's quite annoying. So there are obviously limitations to this T5 Firestorm. It makes it much harder because I'm using 2 large cap batteries. The large cap batteries really hurt my fitting, so it makes everything else kind of really hard to fit. But it does give me a pretty good amount of capacitor, and I really do need that when I'm in the Firestorm, because I do not have that crazy boost of capacitor like I do in the electrical one. We don't have that at all, and especially since we've got a Afterburner, if I see my capacitor a good number, it's still not what I'm used to having in the electric, because in the electric I go with a MWD. So if I really wanted to save capacitor, I could just turn it off and save a lot of capacitor. But here, the Afterburner basically uses like negligible capacitor, so I have to have like almost even more capacitor. So that's why I'm going with the dual large cap batteries. Actually, I don't usually go with the dual large cap batteries, but I actually do this time. Okay, let's see now. We've got a bunch of sleeper cruisers, so it should be pretty simple actually. We'll go to these. I think we'll have enough time. It's the origin content. Yeah, it's alright. Okay, good. Okay, deploy some drones, and I almost always focus the webifiers, but since we've got heavy newt pressure actually here, it's probably a good idea to just slap up these guys. Look here, we've got 20 gigajoules per second, and we have actually got 2 large cap batteries, so we're going to be very newt resistant right here. But it is going to be pretty, like, it is going to be pretty deadly with all these guys, all these lucid sentinels, these null charges. They all newt, so it's going to be a big priority actually to take out these newts before they get crazy. I actually had it is still pretty powerful when it comes to negating newts, as I said before, the 2 cap batteries. I had a Leshak wave with these starving Vedmax, and they have starving Leshaks. They've got one of the strongest newts you can actually have in the Abyss. But I actually did pretty well there. I actually was able to not get newted out, and even though I was getting pretty close, it was still, you know, the capacitor was still holding up. I was pretty impressed with that. It shows really what the dual cap batteries can do. Oh, look at that Hammerhead. He survived by only 10% structure HP. Lucky boy right there. Get some nice loot, and it's just so nice because when I see that I get, like, I don't know, 80. I've actually been on a big loot streak recently. I've been running quite a few sites today, and I've actually been getting 100 million quite often from each site I've been running. I was actually quite impressed. I think I'm on some like luck spree or something. But the point is that when I actually get that loot, I know that that's like almost all going to be profit, because the filaments basically cost nothing. The Firestorm filaments cost nothing. So it really affects the profit in that way. I earned so much tanky skin. It's really good. Obviously there is I have got a very expensive ship, and losing it will put me back a lot. So that's kind of the price I pay for being able to get the good ISK like I am doing right now. Okay, let's shoot this extraction node right here. You've almost gone through the whole wave actually. Missiles away. Okay, yeah, good. It dropped something. Sometimes you can get over 10 million actually from one of these. It's really good. Let's go up here. But if I were to run a T6 site, it would possibly be a T6 exotic, just because time I think will be the best for that, because you're gonna get not the like enemy NPCs are not gonna have their, you know, armor buffed up at all. 9 million, that's pretty good. Their enemy NPCs are not gonna have their like armor buffed up like real crazy, but you're still gonna be able to do max damage with your drones and the Vespers or the Scourge kinetic missiles. It's still going to be very good because of the lesser kinetic resistance. So I think that'll be good for time. Something I do worry a little bit about is because I have a hard time having a good tank. Because the thing is, in the exotics and in the Firestorms, I'm kind of almost pushing myself to the max when it comes to the tank. I'm using a little bit of a different style fit here. You can see here I'm using 2 shield boosters. It enables me to have a bit better tank, or quite a bit better tank actually, than having 2 multi-spectrums. And I wouldn't have actually expected that, but I was tinkering around with the level of bling I was using. I would always get more tank with actually having 2 shield boosters, and I would also actually, I'd try to use like I'll use my level of implants, and I was seeing, because I prefer to have the 2 multi-spectrums, because you get that like level of buffer, you know, that really like helps a bit for the wrecking shots. But the thing is, like, it really is so much less EHP per second, and I need that EHP per second actually. It also helps a bit with the capacitor as well, and just the capacitor was also really good, just because I put like extra capacitor modules to be able to compensate for the 2 shield boosters, and it actually kind of worked out even better for the capacitor, because I kind of like buffed my capacitor so much then, and even though I was using 2 shield boosters, it still gave me more EHP per second. So I was also more newt resistant, so I preferred in that regard as well. Because something I worry about is actually neuters in these non-electrical filaments quite a bit actually, because I've never really have to thought much about it in the electrical ones, but here it is a big consideration. Alright, there we go. Here is my new Firestorm Gila. It's going pretty well, actually. Farming the crap out of these sites now. It's really fun. Got some really nice... It's quite a while, actually, since I've been doing some T5 farming properly on Tranquility, actually. It feels good to get back into the rhythm of doing these sites. I've been doing these abyssal sites mean quite a lot to me. Hope you guys enjoyed this video right here, and if you did, please leave a like and subscribe. I'll catch you guys later.